The Mill Design Bureau produced more combat helicopters than any other organization in history. Here is every Mill helicopter ever built. Let's begin with the early designs. Light utility and early designs. Starting off with the aircraft that established the Mill Design Bureau's industrial credibility from the ground up. The Mi-1 Hare. NATO reporting name, Hare. First flight, 1948. Role, light utility. The Soviet Union's first series production helicopter, powered by a 575 horsepower AI-26V radial piston engine, and carrying a crew of 1+3 passengers. The Mi-1 established the Mill Bureau's entire manufacturing pipeline and proved that rotary-wing aircraft could survive Soviet operational requirements at scale. Over 1,000 units were licensed to Poland as the SM-1, making it the Bureau's first true export success and the foundation stone on which everything else was built. The Mi-2 Hoplite. NATO reporting name, Hoplite. First flight, 1961. Role, light multi-purpose. Designed as a direct turbine-powered replacement for the piston, the Mi-1. The Mi-2 Hoplite used two Isotov GTD 350 turboshaft engines, producing 400 horsepower each. Mounted above the cabin in a distinctive twin nacelle arrangement that became the helicopter's defining visual signature, uniquely for a Soviet military platform. The Mi-2 was manufactured entirely in Poland by PZL Świdnik, with over 5,400 units produced across 3 decades. It served as an armed scout, anti-tank platform, training helicopter, and agricultural sprayer simultaneously across Warsaw Pact air forces. The Mi-4 Hound. NATO reporting name, Hound. First flight, 1952. Role, medium transport. Stalin personally ordered a helicopter equivalent to the Sikorsky S-55, and Mikhail Mill delivered the Mi-4 within 18 months, powered by a 1,700 shaft horsepower Schwarzkopf, a Schweiterben ETV piston engine, and carrying 11 fully equipped troops, or 1,600 kg, at internal cargo. It defined the core Mill architectural formula that every subsequent Bureau design would inherit: large diameter main rotor, clamshell rear loading doors, and a ventral gondola for the navigator and observer. The Mi-4 was the machine that taught the Red Army what helicopters could actually do in combined arms operations. The Mi-38. No NATO designation. First flight, 2003. Role, modern medium transport.
The Bureau's most modern medium-lift platform and the designated successor to the Mi-8.
The Mi-8 dynasty, powered by two Klimov TV 7117V turboshafts, producing 2,800 shaft horsepower each, with a maximum payload of 6,000 kilograms. The Mi-38 incorporates a fully digital glass cockpit, active vibration suppression, and a crash-resistant fuel system compliant with FIR Part 29 airworthiness standards. Russian type certification was granted in 2015, and it represents the Mill Bureau's commitment to competing in the modern commercial and military medium-lift market against Western platforms for the first time. Gunship transports. The Mi-24 Hind, D&V variants. NATO reporting name, Hind. First flight, 1969. Role, gunship transport. The absolute embodiment of Soviet helicopter doctrine is the Mi-24 Hind,
an apex gunship featuring a titanium bathtub cockpit capable of shrugging off 23mm cannon rounds while simultaneously transporting a fully armed 8-man infantry squad in its rear cabin.
No other attack helicopter in history has combined that level of offensive firepower with genuine troop-carrying capacity. Its devastating combat debut in Afghanistan against Mujahideen fighters cemented its reputation as the most feared rotary-wing weapons platform of the entire Cold War. The Hind is an absolute legend. The Mi-35M. NATO reporting name, Hind E. Modernized. First flight, 1999. Role, updated gunship transport. The Mi-35M updates the legendary Hind airframe with advanced avionics, a modernized glass cockpit, night vision compatible displays, and expanded weapons integration, including the 9M120 Ataka missile system, maintaining the core gunship transport hybrid concept that made the original so devastatingly effective, while adding genuine all-weather day-night combat capability the original Hind completely lacked. Russia has exported the Mi-35M to Venezuela, Brazil, Pakistan, and Iraq, making it one of the most geopolitically distributed attack helicopters currently in service anywhere in the world. The Mi-28N Night Hunter. NATO reporting name, Havoc. First flight, 1982. Role, dedicated attack, moving away from the transport hybrid concept entirely. The Mi-28N Havoc serves as Russia's dedicated pure attack platform, utilizing a mast-mounted millimeter-wave radar capable of detecting tanks in all weather conditions, heavy titanium and steel armor, protecting both crew members in separate armored cockpits, and a 2A42 30mm cannon that fires the same devastating round used by the BMP-2 infantry fighting vehicle, designed explicitly as Russia's answer to the AH-64 Apache. The Mi-28N has seen extensive confirmed combat use in both Syria and Ukraine, medium assault and utility. The Mi-8 HIP. NATO reporting name HIP. First flight, 1961. Role, medium transport. The undisputed backbone of global rotary transport and the most produced helicopter in human history, with over 17,000 hulls built across 6 decades. The Mi-8 has operated in more countries, more conflicts, and more environments than any rotary-wing aircraft ever constructed. Powered by 2 TV211-7 turboshaft engines providing genuine twin-engine reliability, the Mi-8 has hauled troops in Afghanistan, fought fires at Chernobyl, resupplied Antarctic stations, and served simultaneously as a gunship, medevac platform, electronic warfare aircraft, and VIP transport across dozens of air forces. The definition of a workhorse. The Mi-17V5. Export designation of the Mi-8, MTV5. Role, high-altitude utility. The Mi-17's TV3117 engines produce dramatically more power than the original Mi-8's TV2117s, and the repositioned tail rotor on the port side improves anti-torque authority at high altitude, delivering the hot and high performance that makes it the preferred utility helicopter for mountain warfare in the Hindu Kush, the Andes and the Himalayas. Over 60 nations operate the Mi-17 in frontline service right now, making it the most internationally deployed Russian military export platform of the entire post-Cold War era. The Mi-14 Hare. NATO reporting name, Hare. First flight, 1967. Role, naval anti-submarine warfare. For specialized naval operations, the Mi-14 adapted Mi-8 dynamic components onto an entirely new amphibious boat hull, allowing it to alight directly on water to deploy dipping sonar, drop torpedoes and depth charges against submerged submarines, and conduct minesweeping operations across Soviet fleet operating areas. Its towed magnetic anomaly detector and Initiativa 2 search radar gave Soviet naval aviation a shore-based anti-submarine warfare capability that genuinely threatened NATO submarine operations in the Baltic and Black Seas throughout the Cold War. Super heavy strategic lift. To wrap things up with the machines that broke every weight record on Earth. The Mi-6 Hook. NATO reporting name Hook. First flight, 1957. Role, heavy transport. The Mi-6 emerged in 1957 as the world's largest helicopter, a title it held for an entire decade, powered by 2 5,500 horsepower Soloviev D25V turboshaft engines, driving a 35-meter diameter main rotor that remains one of the largest ever fitted to a production rotorcraft. Its fixed stub wings generate meaningful lift during forward flight, offloading the rotor and allowing it to carry 12 tons internally at cruise speeds approaching 300 km/h, figures that Western helicopter engineers of the era genuinely could not believe were real. The MiL V12 Homer. NATO reporting name, Homer. First flight, 1968. Role, experimental super heavy. The Bureau's absolute obsession with heavy lift peaked with the V12, a colossal experimental aircraft mounting 2 complete Mi-6 rotor systems on opposing wingtip outriggers, creating a side-by-side configuration of such staggering scale that it still holds the world record for the largest and heaviest helicopter ever flown, lifting 40,204 kilograms to altitude in 1969, a record that has stood for over 55 years, and no subsequent rotorcraft has come close to matching. Only 2 prototypes were ever built, but the V12 proved definitively that the MiL Design Bureau was operating in an entirely different dimension of rotary wing engineering ambition. The Mi-26 Halo. NATO reporting name, Halo. First flight, 1977. Role, super heavy lift. The current undisputed world champion of rotary wing heavy lift. The Mi-26 Halo is an absolute beast by every engineering metric on the planet. Driven by 2 11,400 horsepower Lotarev D136 turboshaft engines, it carries 20 tons of cargo internally and slingloads payloads that include disabled main battle tanks, other helicopters, and entire prefabricated bridge sections. No helicopter built by any nation since has come close to matching it, making the Mi-26 the undisputed apex predator of strategic rotary wing logistics and the crowning achievement of everything the MiL Design Bureau spent 7 decades building. The MiL Design Bureau's output fundamentally altered Soviet and post-Soviet power projection doctrine across 4 decades. Where Western armies kept transport and attack functions in separate airframes, the Mi-24 Hind forced a doctrinal recalculation. NATO planners in the 1970s had no equivalent to a machine that could suppress a landing zone and then deliver the assault element in the same pass. The Mi-8 and Mi-17 families' sheer production volume ensured that Soviet rotary wing doctrine could scale to theater level without supply chain constraints. At the heavy lift end, the Mi-6 and Mi-26 gave the Red Army a vertical logistics capacity that no adversary could match below strategic airlift.
The Mill Bureau's defining doctrinal contribution was integration, every platform engineered to function within a combined arms push, not as a standalone asset. That philosophy, codified in VDV assault doctrine, remains the template for Russian rotary-wing employment today.